All right, so get this. We're going deep into AI today, but not just any AI. We're talking AI that can spot errors in, get this, clinical notes.
Yeah, those notes your doctor takes about your health, pretty important stuff.
Super important. And the crazy thing is, research shows 1 in 5 patients who read their own notes find a mistake. Can you believe that?
It's a bit unnerving, isn't it? Like, you'd hope those notes are, accurate.
Exactly. And that's where this AI comes in. It's like a safety net for doctors, helping them catch mistakes before they become a bigger problem.
It's all about making healthcare safer for everyone, really.
And that's what we're diving into today based on this research paper called Get Ready for It, MEDEC, a benchmark for medical error detection and correction in clinical notes.
A mouthful, right, but it's cutting-edge stuff.
Absolutely. And before you think it's all about robots replacing doctors, it's not. It's about AI as a tool helping doctors do what they do best.
Augmenting their skills, not replacing them.
Precisely. Which is good news for all of us, right? I mean, who
Yeah.
wants a robot doctor anyway?
Well, maybe in a sci-fi movie, but yeah, in reality, human doctors are irreplaceable.
Totally. But having AI to back them up, that's a game changer.
Absolutely.
So you know how ChatGPT can write all kinds of creative stuff? Well, the tech behind that, it's called large language models, or LLMs for short. And guess what? Those same LLMs are being used in healthcare already.
Oh, yeah, they're doing things like answering medical exam questions, even generating text for patient communication.
Yeah.
Wild, right?
It really is. And in this MEDEC research, they trained the AI to detect 5 specific types of errors: diagnosis, management, pharmacotherapy, treatment, and even figuring out what caused the illness.
And they pick those because, well, they pop up a lot in medical board exams.
Wow.
It's like they're putting the AI through med school.
Huh. That's a great way to put it. So how did they even train this AI? Was it like medical textbooks and stuff?
Actually, they did something really clever. They used 2 methods. One was taking real medical board exam questions and tweaking them, and those are publicly available, believe it or not.
Really? I had no idea.
Yep. And the second method, this is where it gets interesting, they took real patient notes, but intentionally put errors in them.
Hold on, they messed with real patient notes.
In a very controlled way, of course, and all ethically approved. It's to test the AI in real-world scenarios, make sure it can handle the pressure, just like a doctor would.
That makes sense. So they trained it on both like textbook stuff and real life messy situations. But here's the kicker. Even with all this fancy AI, human doctors are still better at catching these errors.
Yeah, isn't that surprising? You'd think AI, with all its data crunching power, would be, like, unbeatable.
Right. I mean, these models are trained on mountains of information. What's the deal?
Well, there are a few theories. One is that the types of errors they focused on, while important, are kind of rare in the grand scheme of things. So the AI might not have seen enough examples to become a, super sleuth at finding them.
So even AI needs experience, huh?
It seems so. And also remember, this is different from what AI usually does. It's not about creating text or like writing a poem or something. It's about analyzing text that already exists, finding those subtle inconsistencies. That's a whole other ball game.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this is so tricky for AI. But to really wrap our heads around it, let's look at an actual example from the research. This one's about, misdiagnosis. And trust me, that's not something you want to mess around with.
You got that right. Accuracy is key when it comes to diagnoses.
All right, so here's the text. Listen closely. A 23-year-old man, sudden loss of consciousness while pitching in a baseball game. No history of injury. Consciousness back after CPR. No past neurological or cardiovascular problems. Diagnosed with aortic stenosis after the exam, showed a prominent wave. A wave on the jugular venous pulse and a double apical impulse. But get this, no audible murmurs and S4 is present. So the question is, can you spot the error in that diagnosis?
Well, it says no audible murmurs, but isn't aortic stenosis usually associated with a very distinct murmur that a doctor can hear with a stethoscope?
You nailed it. That's the mistake. Given everything else, the correct diagnosis is probably hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which often presents similarly, but without that telltale murmur. See, even a short piece of text like this shows how tricky medical reasoning can be.
It really does. It's all about connecting the dots, looking for those subtle clues that might point to something else.
And that's what makes this AI research so fascinating. It's pushing the boundaries of what machines can understand about, well, us. But before we get too carried away, did the AI models have any success at all? I mean, it can't be all doom and gloom, right?
Oh, they did have some wins, and that's where things get even more interesting. One model, called O1 Preview, was really good at suggesting the right diagnosis, even if it didn't always flag the error itself.
Hmm. So it didn't always catch the mistake, but still came up with the right answer. That's wild. Like a student who doesn't ace the test but can explain the concepts perfectly.
It makes you wonder how these AI models think, right?
Hmm.
Like, do they approach problems differently than we do?
It's like they have different strengths and weaknesses, just like human doctors.
Exactly. Which opens up possibilities. Imagine combining different AIs, one that's great at spotting errors, and another that's a whiz at suggesting corrections. It'd be like a team of expert consultants.
Okay, that's pretty mind-blowing. But how do we even judge how well these AIs are doing? It can't just be right or wrong, can it?
You're right, it's complex. The researchers used a bunch of metrics like Rouge 1, BERT score, BLERT.
Whoa, those sound intense. Can you translate those into, like, plain English for us?
Okay, imagine you have top medical experts, the gold standard for diagnoses, right?
Mhm.
These metrics basically measure how close the AI's answers are to what those experts would say.
So it's like comparing the AI to the best of the best.
Exactly. They look at things like, are they using similar words? Is the meaning the same? Even how fluent and grammatically correct the AI is.
So it's not just about spitting out facts, it's about communicating like a human expert would.
That's it. Accurate and understandable. Like grading a med student's essay, you want both the right facts and clear writing.
Makes total sense. Stepping back for a sec, this whole AI detecting errors thing, it brings up some big questions, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, we've talked about patient safety, but what about how doctors are trained? Could future docs learn with AI, like a study buddy or even a mentor?
Whoa, that's a thought. And diagnoses too, right? Could AI help doctors diagnose faster or more accurately, leading to better outcomes?
Those are the million-dollar questions. It's exciting, maybe a bit scary too, to think about those possibilities.
Definitely makes you think. But back to the research itself, we focus on the AI, but the data set they use, that sounds crucial too, right?
Absolutely. Remember, the data is what the AI learns from. They did something smart, combining modified exam questions and real patient notes, so the AI saw both textbook cases and real-world messiness.
Like a med school crash course plus on-the-job training.
Ah, that's a perfect analogy. But even so, there's more to do. They admit the dataset's still kind of small, only covers certain errors. To really push this forward, they need way more data, a wider range of errors to train on.
So keep feeding the AI, make
Yeah.
it smarter, more
Right.
versatile.
Exactly.
Sure.
And as the AI gets better, we got to improve how we judge it too. Those fancy metrics, those are just the start. We'll need even more nuanced ways to assess what it can do as it evolves.
Like the finish line keeps moving further away.
Right. And of course, we can't forget the ethical side. Patient privacy, data security, those are huge. AI in healthcare has big implications. Got to be careful.
Like Spider-Man's uncle said, with great power.
That comes great responsibility. Nailed it.
We've gone deep today, from the techie stuff to the big picture questions. My head's spinning a bit, honestly. In a good way, though, right? It's like, whoa, what's next?
It really is. And for everyone listening, I think the takeaway is like awareness.
Yeah.
Knowing this research is happening, that AI could make healthcare safer, it's kind of empowering.
Empowering, yeah, I like that. It's not about being scared of AI taking over. It's about seeing how it can help, you know?
Exactly. And if we think bigger picture, it makes you wonder, what does it even mean to be a good doctor in this new world with AI?
Ooh, good point. Is it just knowing all the facts? Or is there more to it? Something AI might not be able to replicate, at least not yet.
Yeah, things like empathy, intuition, that feeling when your doctor really gets you. Those are hard to measure, but so important for patients.
It's like AI isn't replacing doctors. It's about finding the best way for them to work together. Each brings something unique to the table, right?
Precisely. And this MEDEC research, it's just the start. It's opened up this whole new world of what's possible, but it's up to us to figure out how to use it responsibly.
Big conversations to be had, for sure. But hey, that's what makes this stuff so cool. It's not just about the tech. It's about how it affects our lives, the questions it makes us ask.
Couldn't agree more. Even with all this advanced tech, it's still about people in the end.
Well said. For those who want to geek out on the research itself, we got a link to the full paper in the show notes. It's a bit dense, but worth it if you're an AI nerd.
And if you're just starting to explore this whole AI thing, we've also got some great links for a good overview of AI in healthcare, something for everyone.
So no matter your level, there's something to learn. Who knows, maybe one day you'll be asking your AI assistant to double-check your doctor's notes, huh?
Now that's a future I'm looking forward to.
But don't expect it to diagnose your next cold just yet. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and as always, stay curious.